Hello, let's do Wordle for Saturday, March 7th. Yesterday we spun the wheel and it said to start with clasp, which is what the official bot starts with, which it lost on yesterday. Clasp is all gray. I don't know what the all gray follow-up is supposed to be, but let's figure something out. R and T, E are left. So I'm thinking like an R, something, something E, an N or a T goes here. I think T might be a little better if there is one. Trite. I think N is more likely. I'm trying to find something. Is there a TR something NE? Trone, trine, troon. I'm gonna try tried, like tried and true. Oh, just E at the end. Okay, good to know. So I would like to try an NE word to use that final most common letter. H is common. I mean, really could go for anything at this point. Maybe an ONE instead of a UNE. O is more common than U. But once we're down to this, it's the commonality of letters is skewed once we have all these grays. But can I figure out what to guess? I want to do phone, but there's no P. There's no R, there's no L. This makes it tough. Is there just a WHO something E? Whose, but there's no S. There's no R. What are we doing then? Maybe I'll try to look at UNE then. The problem is like what are we doing with the first two letters? Maybe I should look at OONE, like Boone, I think is a name with the E at the end. I don't know if that's a word. But if it accepts it, it might be worth guessing. We could also repeat the E. We could do like ENE. Really, I don't know. I'm not married to having an N there. Is there like an EE something? Probably don't want to do that. Or an E here and an E at the end, like an EN something E. Trying to combine letters to here. Or I could do any vowel and then N something E, like ON something E. There's gotta be something. And GE doesn't make sense. What is going on here? Can I end in OE or UE? But there's always Q. Seems like a silly guess, but it's the first word I've thought of. All right, it's not Q. It does end in UE though. There's not another U. There's not another E. That's good to know. So probably we've got an O right there. Surely there's a word. GUE, Vogue. Got it. Wow, look at that solve. It's all greens, and it's kind of like a sea of greens. No, have I done that 111 times apparently? All right, Vogue in 4 with a lot of. I guessed Q before Vogue. I wonder how many people did that. But I think it helped narrow it down. We'll see what the bots think. First thing we will do, though, is we will spin the wheel and see what tomorrow's starting word will be. Will it be a good one? Will it be a bad one? Fluid, just by Cindy Hobbs. All right. Cindy, being a super sporter, has that on the wheel 5 times. And so it comes up quite a bit. All right. So if you would like to follow along, then tomorrow we will be starting with fluid. Okay. Let's do some analysis and see how good my guesses were, because I suspect they weren't great, but we'll see. The answer was Vogue. We started with clasp. So the best follow-up for clasp is tired, which is actually interesting because it's just an anagram of what I did, which is tried, T-R-I-D-E. I'm guessing T-R-I-D-E is not even on the answer list, but we'll check it. Trite is tried, I-E-D, obviously, like past tense of to try. But no, it's not. Okay, so... Oh, maybe is tried and true T-R-I-E-D, or is it T-R-I-D? I just thought about that. I've only heard tried and true. Have I? If I haven't paid attention to how tried is spelled if I've seen it written. All right. Anyway, it does tired, but I did the same letters, but I got a green. They wouldn't have. Right. Yeah. A non-answer list word, so it may not like that one too much. It's suggesting to go Vogue. That seems like a good idea to me. We're down to 10 words. Booze, evoke, femme, fugue, gnome, gouge, ozone. Remember, ozone was really hard. Q, venue, and vogue. Interesting. So I went Q, which it's not horrible. And after Q is only Vogue, so it worked out. Interesting. But it would have just gone Vogue because it was the best guess, but also because it's the answer, so that's great. It would do tired, which is slightly different because we have that yellow E. So we're down to 22 words instead. So it's going to go gnome and then Vogue. All right. Tails is its suggested start. After tails, we go drone. We could get Vogue in 3. That would be lucky. Or we go something like bogey and then Vogue. Or we go something like voice and then Vogue. So 3 or 4. More likely 4. Steel. Anagram of tails. That can be the answer. Dane. Gopher in Vogue. Or grope and then Vogue. Grove and then Vogue. Vogue and 4. All right. Adieu is the most common starting word. We have the U and the E. We're going to go with surge here. And after that, we go glute Vogue or we just go Vogue. So 3 or 4. Audio. With the U and the O, we're going to go court. Then we're going to go mogul. And that gets the OG. It could be bogus or Vogue. Interesting. So 4 or 5. Stare, a very common starting word. Just be careful of ER words. Boole. B-O-U-L-E. Oh, that's probably the word I was trying to think of when I said B-O-O-L-E. No, I said boon. B-O-O-N-E. Never mind. So it gets a 3. Stare, boole, Vogue. And Trace tries to get in 2. Slope. Vogue. All right, we don't have to do clasp because that's what we started with today. All right, cool. Well, let's check the official bot, see how people did. Save the screenshot first. I wonder if that 111 badge is retroactive or if it's when they started giving out badges. 111 seems like a lot for it to not be retroactive, but anyway, let's look at the bot. So in hard mode, give me a 90 skill, 41 luck. 4 is the average. It likes clasp. That's its pick. A lot of people start with clasp in hard mode. So we've got toner as the most common follow-up, which is what it would do. Tired is on here. Tired. No one else did tried. That's probably for a reason. I think T-R-I-E-D is tried and true. So I don't know what the heck tried is like that. Anyway, diner, round, trend, drone, tenor, tired. A lot of D's, which is interesting, including mine. All right. Q was a 74. It's saying I got lucky. If the solution had been gnome, there still would have been 3 words to choose from. We narrowed it down to 1 possible. That's an interesting analysis there. But yeah, we did it. So it goes clasp, toner, Vogue. All right. Vogue is a 0.3 cheater rate today. 3.1, 24.5, 65.6, 91, 98.5% solve rate. People losing on Bogue, Mogue, Vogue. Vogue spelled weird. Vouge. Huh. Pogue. Wow. So people just not knowing the word Vogue and trying a B and an M. And the problem is V is late in the keyboard, although B is after V. Anyway, interesting. Let's refresh and check in normal mode. Vogue is the name of a magazine and a Madonna song, so basically the same. 90, 42, 4. We got people we're following up with trend, mount, mound, drink, round, route, trunk, fruit, toner. I am not the only one who did tried that way. Interesting. All right. Give me the same 74 for Q. All right. And it does slate, groin, Vogue. So it does a filler after slate. Loves the turn 2 filler. I can see why, but it still seems kind of lame. You're not ever going to get it in 2 if you do turn 2 fillers. Vogue is a 0.4% cheater rate. 2.8, 22.1, 57.5, 84.3, 95.8. That is significantly lower than the solve rate hard mode. A lot of people spelling Vogue wrong. Really unfortunate. Vogue, Mogue, Pogue, Code, Gouge, Rogue. Okay. Cool. Well, that's it for Wordle. How'd you do? If you'd like to watch the New York Times games, I have a link at the end of the video that takes you right there. I also have a pinned comment with all the games I played today. And if you enjoyed this, why don't leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.